Hello everybody, this is a Grumpy Old Guy Gaming, and we're gonna go ahead and do another episode here of Wizardry, Tale of the Forsaken Land for the PlayStation 2. Party's kinda hovering between level 8 and 9. Last time out we actually got wow, we got 6 transfer potions. Remember a couple weeks back when we didn't have any? But we actually got a lot of stuff accomplished last time out. I'm going to do something that's going to seem a little foolish down the road at some point, but I'm going to sell off some of these transfer potions because they're just hogging up all kind of space on our characters right now. Only getting 50 gold a piece, but just think of it as, you know, the space is going to be far more valuable afterwards. It's either going to give us a chance to make more spells when we get back into town, or carry more equipment. Let's check in at the bar real quick here and pick up a new quest. Still gotta get paralyzed. There's one that says, I want to sleep soundly. That one's offering 11,000 experience. There's one here for 10,000 to find out about this woman's husband. And one for 11,000 to recover a party's shield. Let's go ahead and find out about this woman's husband. Says, client's name is Rose, says, my husband has been sneaking into the labyrinth lately. I think he's hiding something. Can you find out for me? His name is Giorgio and he has long hair. Of course he does. As usual, we accept the quest and then a voice shouts out, oh look, it's Rose. It is. What happened to Romeo, huh? Did you sell him off? The men in the tavern began laughing. Woman tells them to shut up. Really tells him off there. Woman approached you as she pushed aside the men making fun of her. That's fair. She goes, you the one who accepted the quest? Introduces herself as Rose Velo. I used to be an adventurer like you. Let's hope she didn't take an arrow to the knee. The men began to shout out. Sorry about that. Had to pause things real quick, take a call. Back to the game. Rose tells whoever was heckling her to shut up and calls them a dumbass, which is fair. Gives the man a nice right hook to the face. Much more effective method of shutting him up. Man was knocked out cold, so clearly this Rose wasn't joking about being a former adventurer. After a moment, she says, so, here's the quest. She looks away, embarrassed. She goes, I want you to see what my husband is doing. At that moment, the whole tavern apparently bursts into laughter. Which prompts Rose to once again have to do a little self-imposed crowd control. You'd think at this point we would want to help out with this just so we could get through this. Says, man, those guys never grow up. She goes on to explain lately he's been sneaking into the labyrinth, but the odd thing is, he faints at the sight of a monster. He's definitely hiding something from her, and she's beginning to think he's meeting someone there. But he's never been the type of person to hide anything from her. He's also been avoiding her. Don't you think that something's up? Well, that does seem a little strange. She says if he's meeting with another woman, I'm not going to forgive him. His name is Giorgio. He's a handsome man with black hair down to his shoulders and slit-like eyes. According to these guys, he's been going to the 4th floor fairly often. I'm leaving this up to you. You remember the 4th floor, everybody? That's the cemetery. This is going to be such a wonderful, fun time. But hey, that's the quest we chose. So without further ado, let's go to the dungeon. Make our way down. No better than to think this will be peril-free. Just kinda hoping to minimize what encounters we have. Also hoping we don't run into that pesky Reaper. Already had a couple of encounters sort of derailed. Coming up here, always being careful to keep our backs away from any sort of situation where we could be back attacked. That will invert our combat rows and allow the monsters easy access at our casters. Though in all fairness, Agog is really the only one that's all that squishy, as Sarah is pretty well fortified. So what do you know, we make it all the way down to the 2nd floor without encountering a single battle. That may be a first. Not just for this playthrough, but for me and Wizardry in general. I guess we knew it wouldn't last forever, though, as we end up with a combat here, and I'm not even worried about dispelling these guys at this point, because everybody pretty much has some type of magical weapon. And even if they don't, the casters do, so let's just go ahead and let the assisted shot handle this. Magic crossbow took down one, and Keo took down the other. That's gonna save us some time, and we don't have to fiddle with the less than 100% chance that comes with dispelling. Pick up some rotten meat, because of course, anytime you fell some undead kobolds, you want a souvenir. Now that I say that out loud, that seems a little weird, doesn't it? Oh, what can you do, though? Come to our elevator room. So much nicer to get around the jail this way, isn't it? I think maybe on Sunday's stream we'll go ahead and explore the 4th floor a bit. Not the 4th floor, the 4th subfloor of the jail. We really haven't done anything with it. We haven't checked it out at all because we've been heading down into the labyrinth here. Speaking of, we have a battle and come upon a party of 3 samurai. This seems like a very good chance to employ the restrict shot. Again, hoping Keo's natural evasion carries the day on that. Speaking of Keo, we're going to let him attack on his own and hope his death strike could fell one of these samurai, and hope that Rui and Ricardo strike true on their double slash on the middle guy. Let's see if this pays off. Nope. Keo didn't get the death strike. Rui and Ricardo do finish the samurai off. Hey, look at that. That first samurai not only survived Keo's attack, but he survived the restrict shot, too. Did get a restrict shot in on the second samurai, though. So this is where we switch things into high gear offensively. We'll go from the restrict shot to an assisted shot. Continue with our double slash shenanigans on the lesser damaged of the two. And let Kyo finish what he started if the assisted shot doesn't. There we go, Samurai 1 is down. And now for Samurai 2. Yep. Falls like a sack of potatoes. Look at us, big fancy group of professional adventurers we be. Let's see what we got. We got some chainmail. Love getting those unidentified armors, don't we? Especially down in the labyrinth, because you really never know what these are going to be. Could be cursed, could be amazing. Lots of praise. Dragon chainmail, made with dragon scales. Protects from breath and fire and can be equipped by warriors, knights, samurai, ninjas, or priests. So let's go around and see who could use this. That'd be a pretty big step up for Sarah. Not really doing anything for Rui. Pretty decent boost for Ricardo. Mainly in the evade category. Let's go ahead and hand over the rotten meat from Ricardo over to Sarah. And let's see what the dragon chainmail would do for Kyo. Well, I mean, that would be kinda nice. He's got the Megasis chainmail. Big question is, can the Megasis chainmail be worn by priests? Yes. Yes, it can. So I think we have our winner here. We're going to go ahead and give the dragon chainmail over to Kyo so he has the best possible protection, being a frontline guy. That frees up the Megasis chainmail, which isn't really going to be beneficial to anyone on the front row. It's not really all that good for Sarah either, because she has the decorated plate. So it'll just kind of hang out and we'll end up selling it. The Megasis chainmail, already redundant. Neat how that works out. Oh! This could actually be a problem. That's certainly more than enough Orc Kings to do a rush. So we're going to go ahead and apply a front guard here. And then we're going to cast some spells. Agog is going to drop some fire on the front row. And what will Sarah do? Sarah will cast Con Air on our front row. I'm pretty sure we'll be safe with the front guard up, but just in case they do decide to individual attack, throwing some extra evade up may help us out. Well, even if they did decide to rush, a good deal of that's going to be burned away here. Take down the whole front row there. And we get a bit of an evade boost there. Back row, one Orc King runs away and the others are kind of primed for the picking. Now they have nowhere near enough to do the rush. Let's go ahead and do a restrict shot. I still don't like Rui's chances of felling an Orc King on her own, so we'll double slash her and Ricardo since that worked out well against the Samurai, and let Kyo take one out himself. That's 2 down. Orc King goes after Kyo, so he evades our restrict shot, but nothing really comes of it. This time we'll just take this the old boring, old-fashioned way, an assist shot and 3 individual attacks. Kyo sure took the suspense out of that, didn't he? Ninja there with the kill. That's quality 900 experience. Took a little longer than you want to battle with a bunch of orcs too, but we played defensively for a reason. Labyrinth seems to be rewarding the heck out of us as we get an unidentified axe. Go ahead, shuffle that down to Agog. Couple seconds later, we find out it is a steel hand axe. Weighs more for better balance and inflicts more damage. That would do a great deal more damage, but it would take away that second hit for Kyo. Not really usable by Rui. Does do a bit more damage for Ricardo though, so I think we'll go ahead and make that switch. Still looking for our way out here, and we come upon an unusual grouping of monsters. 4 giant toads. Let's go ahead with an assisted shot. Double slash. And attack there. The most annoying part of giant toads at this point is their ability to call out for help. There's really nothing we're worried about damage-wise from this grouping. Especially not when you're clubbing them like that. But here we go. We took 4 down to 2, and now they're calling for more. And we're back up to 3. So, second verse, same as the first. We'll try this again. First giant toad goes down nice and easy. Second one follows swiftly. And one more cry for help from the back row. Assistance never arrived, which is just great news for us. Switch it up, let Kyo get in on this double strike with Rui. Once again, finishing with absolutely no doubt that the job is done. Gonna let that humanoid figure a chance to escape because, we're not here to fight everything around. We're just kinda looking for the stairs down. And we're stopped. It's our friend, the creepy priest dude. His lips curled into a smile. I do believe we're about to get ourselves another tarot reading. Last time we did really well. We had a lucky reading and we ended up getting a magic stone for it. Let's go ahead and request a reading. Very well. Choose one of the piles. What do you think, bud? Right, middle, or left? Hold up your left hand for left, hold up your right hand for right, and hold up both hands for middle. You gotta pick one. I'm gonna count down to 5 and then you can pick, okay?
Okay. This is always working.
Okay, I consulted with my son and he said pick the middle pile again, so let's check this out. Under the moon's guidance, I shall divine your destiny. Let's see what we get. Priest pulled out a card. It was... well, we are quite a lucky one. It is an elf card. On the card, there is a picture of a skinny elf holding a staff. I'm ordained to give the blessing of wisdom to whoever draws this card. Who will receive the blessing? Blessing of wisdom sounds like something that should go to a priest, so let's go ahead and give it to Sarah. Her wisdom is increased by 1 point. Then I shall wait in the moonlight to guide at a more opportune moment. So we are 2 for 2 on our tarot readings from McCreepy Priest Dude. Special assist from my son there, who just happened to be bouncing around like crazy because we're getting pretty close to his bedtime as I'm recording this. Sneaking up on a dragon here. Probably not the wisest course of action, but in all fairness, he did only give the blessing to Sarah. Allied action. Let's go ahead with an assist shot. And let's double slash this. Let the heavy hitters take care of the double slash. Just pile as much damage on as humanly possible. Also would not have argued with a death strike there. More poison breath coming our way. Everybody's hit, but nobody is seriously hurt. There it is. There's the death strike. If you remember last time when we were hunting the dragon hearts, that was, that last dragon battle literally came down to a couple hit points. We were very close to losing some party members. This time we get one pretty easy peasy as far as dragon battles go. Took one breath attack and nobody was seriously hurt. Go with assisted shot and just have these guys normal attack away. I think we're a high enough level that we're gonna hit the dragonflies more often than not. Almost got proved wrong there, didn't I? Okay, so we at least got the front row taken care of. But the back row guys can still attack. Fortunately, they went right after our more agile members on the front row, and there was no damage to be had. Okay, that's 1 down. And that's 2. So the second round went much less suspenseful than the first. Paltry 400. Remember when 400 experience was a level up for us? We've come a long way in a short amount of time. Which is good because for a while there we got nowhere in weeks. Here we're coming up against more Orc Kings, and again, I just feel better defensively at this moment. Let's go ahead and use... Oh, let's save the well, we're already out of level 3 spells, so Zatil is the call. Definitely gonna burn another Con Air here. Again, the big thing about that front guard is that it's protecting us in the event of a rush. Now we'll see the numbers disperse a bit. Couple of the back row move away. I think we're in a pretty good spot at this point. And just individual attacks. See if we can't just luck into something here. That's what we want to see. The assisted shot is just enough to take some of the Orc Kings down. And for everything else, there's frontline fighters. 800 experience there, and it looks like we will have at least one level up. Caught a rare moment there where the room inside hadn't quite fleshed out. Again, there's more than enough there for a rush, so we're going to take our usual stance on this. Yeah, Zatiel seems like the better call. You know what? Let's have her start healing people. Who's hurt? Rui's pretty banged up and she's right up front there, so let's let Sarah heal Rui real quick. Only one Orc King survives. Just one. Let's go ahead and give him the royal treatment. Doesn't even make it to the double slash, folks. The assisted shot finishes him off. On the bright side, those 800 experience chunks are really doing wonders for us. See if this got us any closer to the exit. Not looking so. So I guess we're going back in. To a room full of dragons. Going to ignore them and deal with whatever's on the other side, and whatever's on the other side are 2 priests, a ninja, and a samurai. Tell me if you've heard this one before. So we're gonna go ahead, spell cancel like we would those bishops. Have Rui and Ricardo double slash on the samurai. Use Kyo's spell trick to let him fight one of the level 1 priests. And we'll just take our chances that the ninja doesn't kill any of us on this round. First priest is paralyzed. Double slash works flawlessly on the samurai. Rui manages to dodge the ninja strikes, and Agog and Sarah take out the second priest on the spell cancel. So that worked out well. We're now going to set up a restrict shot protecting Rui and Ricardo. Set up a double slash between Rui and Kyo, and let Ricardo just try and bash the ninja on the head if he survives that long. Looks like he'll make it, albeit wounded. Nope, the restrict shot will be enough to kill him. The ninja went after Rui, we had guessed right, and the restrict shot was enough to finish him off. Again, if you're wondering what the big hoopla is over the allied actions in this game, they are kind of everything. Oh, seeing some stairs up ahead there. Got one more battle to deal with. And it's our buddies the Orc Kings again. Let's go ahead and heal up Agog, as he's the only other person who took full damage from that poison breath. All but 2 on the spell. Look at that, we finally took a damage from an Orc King. And we finally had a round where one didn't try and run away. So that's 2 down this round. Rui with a rare miss there. Will not be seeing that too often. And everybody was sort of blocked off, so they re-established their front line, and we will go back to the assisted shot and attacks. as we're fairly certain we're going to get at least 2 Orc Kings on this round. Turns out we'll have a shot at all 3, and we will succeed in that endeavor. The Orc Kings are down, and that's a cool 1,000 experience. Moving us right along. Oh, that's why those stairs look familiar. They're the stairs back up. Certainly not what we're looking for at this moment. Let's go ahead with the assisted shot and individual attacks. Just kinda gotta hope that we get 2 out of 3 hits on everything. That worked out far better than I was expecting. Our frontline people can solo a dragonfly no problem, as long as the dragonfly doesn't dodge. And we get a Zybus stone. Let's go ahead and hand that off, shall we? Use... Rui's rank 1, Agog is rank 2. Zyba is leveled up and the stone breaks. Now we're running into another dragon here. Narrow hallway, no other way to go. Let's go with the restrict shot here. As we saw from before, there isn't really much that we're going to get out of an assisted shot here, so I feel this is the best way to go. Not gonna lie, I was hoping for a petrify or a kill. Well, we had guessed right, we had just picked the wrong targets. We're gonna keep picking Rui and Ricardo though, as I do like Kyo's chances of surviving over most everyone else's. Just to play on the safe side though, I will have Rui go ahead and heal Kyo this round. Rare miss by Kyo on his first strike. See, that's what we were looking for. Went to attack Rui that time, and the restrict shot paid off. And there's lethal damage. Few solid rounds of combat, well worth it. Well worth it. Now let's see if we can retrace here and pick a different route and hopefully a more successful one. Be a shame if we didn't at least get back down to the cemetery and start mapping it out more. One damage there. Another thing to remember, the dragonflies do have a breath attack, but it's a very weak one. It's not really anything worth sweating. Kyo fells the first of 2 remaining dragonflies. And the assisted shot from the back row will take out the second. So that's another 400 cool experience piled in there. Let's try this door, see if it leads anywhere. Well, it seems like we were sort of outsmarted by the circumstances there. Tried to sidestep and almost got back attacked. Sort of a curious situation here. We could leave the priest since he's back row to a spell cancel. And we do know that a double slash between Ricardo and Rui will take care of a level 3 samurai. Let's hope Kyo could take care of another one, and that'll just leave one samurai to attack us. Sure enough, Kyo makes good on his end of the bargain, petrifying on the first hit. Double slash does take out a second samurai. Kyo dodges the samurai's attack, and the level 1 priest thought better of his position and ran away to fight another day. So we're going to roll out the red carpet and put as much damage on this level 3 samurai as possible to finish up the encounter. Aided by a critical hit to boot. Well, I don't know if we'll make it down to the cemetery, but we're certainly making some progress on levels, aren't we? More chainmail? Wonder if this is going to be more dragon chainmail. If it is, we know who could use it. And appraise we will. Rusted chainmail, rusted on the surface by a curse. Safe to say we won't be equipping that one at all. But we will sell it when we get back to town, as we know even cursed items sell for a pretty penny. Looks like we find ourselves in another of those little rooms to nowhere. And we come upon a grouping with 2 priests, a samurai, and a ninja. Do have the advantage of a surprise round. Let's try something a little different here. We'll start with our double slash, Rui and Ricardo after the samurai, and then we'll try something a little different with Kyo and Agog. Let's go with a hold attack. What's going to happen is Agog is going to use some spell energy to hold the ninja in place, hopefully allowing Kyo to finish him off. And Sarah is just going to kinda... well, she could cast a spell here. Yeah, let's cast Barrett's on a priest. Okay, so that only did 40 damage, but it was well worth it. As you can see, that is a method of dealing with things. Only 26 damage there. Spell cancel. Double slash. By Kyo and Rui, the 2 most accurate attackers, and let Ricardo to the frontline priest. Sure enough, Kyo is able to hit on his second strike and fell the ninja before he's any threat. We knew that priest to be casting, and that spell cancel more than enough in their weakened state to finish the job. Let's see what we pull here. Just some priest hair. It's a spell ingredient. So the game seems really intent on us not using that other door there. And I'm not in much of a mood to argue. The labyrinth is sometimes very easy path to navigate, and sometimes it is just impossible. Seems like we had the misfortune of picking one of the rough days to run it. See what we got here. We got some stairs down, so we'll be moving to a different location. But first, let's deal with some beetles. If you remember, the beetles really didn't respond well to fire magic. or really any magic. So we'll let Kyo and Rui both cast Teal. Save Agog's spells. And I figure 2 Teal spells more than enough, even if there's a fumble. Yeah, we won't even get to the second one. First Teal spell finishes everything. And that's 470 really easy experience. Moving further down here. Moving right into a battle with a half dozen dragonflies here. Let's set up a restrict shot for Rui and Ricardo. And a double slash between Rui and Ricardo. Hopefully Kyo could take out one on his own. Yep. Kyo once again does his part. But the double slash is an absolute whiff. Now we're just kind of hoping on the restrict shot to do its magic, and so far we're 1 for 1. Gonna take some fire breath out of this guy on the left here. Again, not terribly tragic damage, but as you could see, you get a couple of them in a row, it could hurt quite a bit. They all seem to be of a like mind on this strategy at this point. Last one goes for an attack though, and so we get a second restrict shot kill. Overall, that wasn't a terrible round of combat, so I think we'll just stick with that strategy one more time. After all, if we get 3 more kills, we're smooth sailing. This time the double slash does pay off, and the restrict shot gets a 3rd. So no complaints there. Just seems we can't be making any progress today without running into a dragon, doesn't it? Double slash. You know what, let's try a double slash. And a stun attack. Why not, right? Use a sorcerer spell here. Just for the heck of it, splay him. Let's see if we can't just put him to sleep, huh? If damage doesn't work, maybe we'll be able to put him to sleep or stun him. Well, we do have a paralyze in there. We got the dragon both paralyzed and asleep. That can only mean good things for us. Yep. Combination of the sleep and the paralyze made it really easy for Kyo and Ricardo to just throw a ton of damage at that dragon, and he's down like nobody's business. Making our way through the bottom here, and there's our stairs down. Certainly took long enough, didn't it, folks? Have a little bit of time to check out the ancient cemetery. As you can see, we've gone a couple steps in. Certainly not very far. Have to remember there are pitfalls both visible and invisible just about everywhere you go. Here we run into a samurai who's healing himself. He notices you and begins talking to us amicably. Goes, the third floor was quite a handful, but this floor is worse. There are pitfalls and creepy gravestones everywhere. He seemed to be the samurai named Matsuri that a soldier told you about. You asked if it was him. Said, indeed, my name is Matsuri, but how do you know that? So yeah, if you remember way back up there in the jail a couple weeks back, we were told to give a katana to this guy. So when you told him about getting a sword from the Duhan soldier, Matsuri gave an exaggerated nod. Says, Her Majesty's soldiers are really so courteous, all I did was help him out a little. So we give him the sword sheath. Says, with this sword I'll be able to beat the undead. This is great. Every time I see the undead, it reminds me of her. It pushes me to go on. Matsuri noticed you looking at him and scratched his cheek shyly. Says, my village was attacked by the undead in the past. So many were killed, even the women and children weren't spared. When Her Majesty heard about it, she decided to send some help to us. When we got the news, everyone rejoiced. We all thought we were saved, but all that came was just this one elf girl. We didn't believe that a girl like that could fight monsters at all, so we got worried. But she was Sophia, the priest known as the Sacred Healer. Her Majesty had sent us a Queen's Guard, one of her own personal servants. Her skill was amazing. She knelt and just by her prayer alone destroyed an army of the undead. That's not all. She healed the injured villagers one by one. I fell for her then, for her beauty and for her kindness. But because of the Flash, it is uncertain whether Sophia is dead or alive. Man, this game doesn't even let you reminisce without taking you down a step, does it? Matsuri's face clouded over for a moment. He says, but I think she's still alive. A Queen's Guard would never die before fulfilling her duty. I'm going to find her, and I'm going to pay her back for all she did for us. Oops, sorry for rambling. I didn't mean to keep you here. Well, thanks for the delivery and for listening to me. Let me give you this in return. So Matsuri pulled out a fragment of a crystal that shined with a crimson glow. We got a crimson quartz. Says, I have no clue what to do with it, but it might come in handy someday. He grinned and waved goodbye. Well, you know that old RPG trope, when an NPC gives you an item, it's gonna come up. So we're just kind of making our way through here. Seems we found another pit. Or maybe the same pit we fell in last time. Definitely the same pit we fell into last time. Just gonna map this out a little here. Looks like we got a trapped chest over here. Worth checking out. Let Rui open it. Nice and simple unlock, and inside we find an unidentified throwing knife. Folks, this is the stuff you kinda hope for. Maybe something to help out Sarah with that attack a little. Maybe something magical. Appraising the knife. It's a Shade's knife, used by the well-known Shade. Has very high accuracy and can petrify enemies. Certainly better than the poison throwing knife, and more accurate. So let's go ahead and hand that over. And the Shade's knife is now Sarah's knife. Not mad at that at all. Checking the room here. Seemed to have a book on the ground. Vellum was stuck in an old book. On it in poor handwriting it said, An undead sucked my life away. Oh horror, my body feels odd. The mighty warrior Odom. Poor Odom! He started out so helpful and now is apparently no more. But at least in his last will and testament we found, we found out how he went out, didn't we? Here's a locked chest. Once again, let Rui handle it for the rogue's advantage. And inside we get a sculpture vellum. So anytime you see a glowing circle like this, it's going to teleport us back up. But back to a random spot here. It's not really a random spot, it's a hill overlooking the area we're in. Oof. Here are a couple gargoyles. Never fun by any means. As you can see, we're not doing a ton of damage to these guys. Well, Ricardo is. Restrict shots mainly for our benefit defensively. At this point, aside from the slight chance of, petrifying that the Shade's Knife gives, we're not too keen on an assisted shot doing too much damage. So the restrict shot is where we want to be on this one. Hey, Kyo gets a death strike on one gargoyle. Ricardo's able to hit with a fair amount of damage. And Kyo shows why we're so trusting in his ability to evade attacks. Just some good old-fashioned damage to take out the other gargoyle. Picking up a little over 1,200 experience there. Another battle or two should get Ricardo leveled up. Let's go ahead and hit that before we close out for the day. I know it's a longer upload, and I try and shy away, especially when coming up near the hour mark, but it's been a pretty good run so far. I've got to say that much. Just kind of checking out everything around us here. Oh, this could be bad. Definitely not messing around with these guys. Double slash on the minor daimyo. Manages to evade both of Kyo's attacks. And they're casting. This is real bad news. Fortunately, it's just a little fire. Unfortunately, their blade cuts just as well. So back to healing duty Rui will go. Okay, one daimyo is down. They just keep tagging away, don't they? Okay, Kyo makes sure he's not taking another strike there. And that is enough to get us our level. So we'll go ahead and fall into that pit. Grab this treasure here. Could hear something sort of snarling in the background. Don't really want to mess with that too much, so we'll just take a moment to check out this axe. Because why not, right? and it's another steel hand axe. And with that, we'll take a transfer potion back to town. Think I'll finish up all of the boring little things to do, the leveling up, and so off camera we'll probably just end this upload here. This has been a Grumpy Old Guy Gaming, thanking you once again for checking in on us here, playing some games and having some fun. You take care, and we will see you soon.